Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. We are on day one of South Florida, of Miami and Broward County. And I know many of you have been asking questions about what does that mean. Right now, that we usually start off and just to talk about the cases that we currently have. In Florida right now, we have 45,588 cases. In Broward County, we have 6,088 cases. Miami-Dade, 15,482 cases. We do know that over the past couple of weeks that testing sites have opened all across Miami-Dade County and in Broward, because we know for a fact that in order for us to get to the place that we're in right now and in the reopening, making sure that we have enough testing sites is an important thing. The good thing about it is Mayor Holness is at the barbershop right now. He's going to go live from there. But we also we have from the city of Miami who is here, and both of them are going to give us an update on what does this mean. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to allow Mayor Holness to kick us off. We'll start at the top and we'll work our way down to the bottom. So Mayor Holness, it is on you to talk about Broward County and the reopening.
Well, as I told you guys, I'm actually at the barbershop, walking off for a little bit because there's news media here. Well, we're looking pretty good this morning in Broward County. We meet the CDC guidelines to start reopening, and as such, we have started on that pathway with most uniformity across the county. All of our cities are pretty much in agreement with what we're doing, except for one. That would like to see gyms open. So they are talking about a gym war. I don't think it's a gym war. It's a disagreement as to what we can and can't do. But a lot of people wanted us to do this because it has been crippling on the economy, as well as it has been devastating on the health of our people. So we're making this first step. But I want everyone out there to understand that we still need to maintain the social distancing, wear your face covering, do all the things that the CDC asks you to do that you've been doing that got us to this point. And hopefully we will continue on a pathway to more openings across South Florida. The one other area that many people have been discussing is beach openings. The consensus of the mayors from Broward County is that we wait until after Memorial Day weekend. So they are looking at the 26th as a target date. And hopefully we can do it in concert with Miami-Dade County, since Palm Beach has already gone ahead of us. So many people want to go out and exercise on the beach and swim and enjoy the sun and the sand, which is what we are famous for here in South Florida. Broward County has 21 miles of beautiful white sand beach. And I'm sure a lot of people are wanted to go back to enjoying that beach. So we're on our way in a good way, I believe. Lots of folks are quite excited. I'm at the barber shop and I see one of my friends here that we usually meet here together. He's got a full beard now. I've got an afro, but he's got a beard.
Mayor, really quick, then we'll hop down to Mayor Suarez. Some people saw that this weekend on Fort Lauderdale Beach that a lot of people were kind of moving. It seemed as if they had moved away from the social distancing and because it was so crowded down in Fort Lauderdale. So some individuals are asking, how are we enforcing to ensure that individuals are safe, even though that we're reopening in this manner. So if you can talk about that for a second or two.
So let me say this, by and large, most people have been practicing the social distancing and follow the guidelines that we set. Sure, there are gonna be a few, this is how humans are, right? We don't always do exactly what we're supposed to do, but we also have the enforcement side of it with the police and the sheriff's office warning folks, and if need be, give them tickets if they're not complying. So I think that we will see more people complying than those who are not.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we'll come back to you because we have some questions from the media. Mayor Suarez, Miami.
How's it going, man?
Welcome to Miami.
There you go. Welcome to my laundry closet.
So it's on you, Mayor. So talk to us about Miami and your reopening in the city.
So similar to what Mayor Holness was saying in Broward, in Miami, we are doing it slightly different from the county. Not that much, but just a little bit. We're sort of modifying a little bit what they did. They're opening up today. We're opening up most of our businesses on Wednesday. We're holding our restaurants for opening on this Wednesday. That's something that we've done in collaboration with Miami Beach, Hialeah, Miami Gardens, the big cities that have decided to go just a little bit slower than the county for a variety of reasons. The first is to see how it goes for the county. We want to sort of get a sense for how it goes for them. Secondly, we kind of got the rules late. They were approved by the governor on Thursday afternoon. So we want to give an opportunity for our residents to digest the rules. There were 185 pages of rules and to be able to educate business owners so that they can open up correctly. And then, we just, we're obviously concerned. Yesterday, we had a one-day spike in Miami-Dade County. We had, I think, 553 cases, which is almost higher than the peak, which is weird because we haven't even opened yet. And so we got to get behind that, figure out whether that's a data dump from private labs or, what's going on there. I think, one of the things that's been tough for us is analyzing the data because it sort of goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And so we've used biostatisticians to give us a sense for the trajectory, which is really what we're looking for, which is a 2-week trajectory. And we're hopeful, as Mayor Holness said, that people act by and large responsibly. That this really, at the end of the day, is going to come down to personal responsibility, because even though we have police officers, code compliance officers, and we have the business owners that are going to want to comply so that there's no enforcement that's needed, at the end of the day, it's really going to come down to people. You know what I mean? Are the people going to continue to practice social distancing, take this seriously so that we can get all the way down to zero? Or are we going to start to see the kind of stuff that we've seen sometimes that puts us in a bad predicament? If we start to see the cases go back up and we start to see irresponsible behavior, it makes it tough for us to maintain these openings.
Mayor, Memorial Day weekend is coming up, and some people are asking how is Miami looking at controlling the crowd Memorial Day weekend, considering that we're opening back up.
Yeah, what Mayor Holness said is true for Miami-Dade County. I think Miami Beach has decided to open the beaches after Memorial Day weekend. I think some of the restaurants and things of that nature, the entertainment stuff, is going to be open after Memorial Day weekend. So I think part of the reason why they're doing that is because they want to sort of avoid major crowds. And everything that we're doing in terms of the things that we've opened has occupancy limitations, whether it's restaurants, which is 50%, or businesses, which is 25%. We're trying to avoid large congregations of people. So I think that's the logic that they are, they're following behind those decisions.
See, there's a question that just came in for you, Mayor Suarez. And the question, and they want you to answer it in Spanish, is that Miami-Dade residents face different days and different opening rules. They have never heard a unified message between Miami-Dade County and its largest city. Why, basically asking, why are you doing this with Broward County instead of trying to communicate with your own county? And they want to know if you could answer it.
Sure. Para mí, esta oportunidad se me lo presentó el representante Shevrin Jones, una persona que yo respeto, y para interactuar no solo con él, pero con la comunidad que él sirve y también con el alcalde de Broward. Para mí, si me hubieran invitado a un foro similar con el alcalde condal de Miami-Dade, yo hubiera participado. Nosotros de ninguna forma estamos atentando a no estar de acuerdo con el condado, simplemente hemos discrepado. Y hay muchas buenas razones. La primera es que nosotros somos una ciudad muy densa, el condado es un poco menos denso, así que para nosotros tenemos diferentes razones por cuales nosotros tomamos las decisiones que tomamos, pero todo está hecho en buena fe.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I really appreciate that. Mayor Holness, there's a something that just came in for you. It said that nothing has been sent out by the city here in Fort Lauderdale states anything about masks. People force themselves and cops were separating groups. Responsible behavior from owners who lost tons of money and not only opening to 50% is a dream on paper. You know, what does the mayor or what does the city what are they looking at and doing when it comes to these type of complaints from residents?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question quite well. You were breaking up.
Basically, they're just asking, what are the county going to do to ensure that cities are following rules who have probably deviated from what the plan is?
In terms of following the rules, what we're doing is following the rules. We actually have enforcement built into our system. So the sheriff's department or any law enforcement can take actions if needed. There's a phone number that we'd like to give out for people who might see someone doing something that's not right. And that is a simple number, 311. You call 311 and we'll direct the proper code enforcement, law enforcement, or whoever needs to be notified as to the situation for them to go out and get it corrected.
Appreciate it. Mayor Suarez, one question that came up for you is, do you see in the near future that any new testing sites will be coming into Miami?
You know, we have right now in the city, we're probably one of the cities with the most testing sites. We have 3 testing sites. We have one is an at-home where we actually go to your home and test you. And we have 2, one in Hadley in the north and one in the south in Little Havana in Marlins Park. You know, the testing at Marlins Park has been fairly steady because that's county-wide. But to be honest with you, the testing with Hadley and the in-home has kind of dropped significantly. So we're now doing asymptomatic testing. So anybody who wants to get tested can call 305-960-5050, 305-960-5050. And if either A, will go to your home, or B, we'll go, you know, you can go to the Hadley site. I think the Hadley site, from what I've been told, may shut down for a while simply because of lack of volume. So, you know, we definitely urge everyone who wants to get tested to get tested. We're testing people who tested positive previously, who want to get tested again and want to ensure that they're safe to go back to work. So, you know, we're ready to test. We can test, by the way, 10 times more people than we're actually testing right now in terms of our capacity. So we have the ability to do broad scale testing. I know there's been talk about broad scale testing and contact tracing, which are important to you know, continuing to diminish the spread of the disease. And those are things that we're completely on board with.
Thank you for that, Mayor. And this question, there's 2 questions for both of you. So maybe both of you all can answer this. So since we're running about 8 minutes left in time. The first question is the number of sites reported to be closing, but we're opening up as far as testing sites is concerned. So they're asking that some testing sites are closing, but we're opening up. So if you all can answer that. And then the second question is, what do you think phase 2 look like in opening, and does that include gyms? So that's for both of you.
So for us, we haven't determined exactly what we're going to do in phase 2, but I believe that we would have gyms and the beaches as a part of the next phase of what we do, maybe even before we go to a full phase 2. In terms of testing sites, the number of people that have been going to some of the sites has diminished, and as such, because many other sites has opened. Walmart has some sites open, and other entities are opening up private sites. So I think that the amount of testing is getting to a point where some people are feeling, well, we're okay now, but I hope that they are not. Part of what we've done in Broward County is also allow for mobile testing to get to people who are homebound. And the other thing that we're working on with Nova Southeastern University is do what's called serology testing, where we go out throughout the community and test to see where the virus is being, where it is currently. We have 5,000 tests committed from the governor to be utilized with or planned with Nova Southeast University. What it will also do is give us some demographics. We're seeking to find out age, gender, race, ethnicity, and geographic locations. That will give us more data that we can analyze and utilize, especially as we go into phase 2, to know how many people really have been have had the virus, and where it's been the most, and where it could be still now. And we can use that should we see a surge or a hotspot develop to go out and get more information on those areas.
Thank you. Ms. Suarez?
Yeah, on testing, we're similar. We have a much greater testing capacity than we have a demand right now. We're hoping that people start to use testing as a means of going back to work. And we know there's a lot of asymptomatic carriers, so we're asymptomatic testing now. So people who just want to know whether they have it or don't have it in terms of going back. Obviously, contact tracing is extremely important as well. And in terms of people who test positive, knowing who they've come into contact with, who they've exposed. And that's going to be important as you open up businesses, because when you go into a business or you work at a business and you come out positive, you've got to notify everybody in that business. And those people need to get tested. So that's something that's incredibly important. In terms of gyms in phase 2, I'm a big proponent of having gyms in phase 2. I would not be against having gyms in phase 1. I think gyms are something that, people's health and wellness is a huge part of beating COVID-19. I can tell you, I had COVID-19, and I think in part because of my health and the fact that I work out regularly. That was part of the reason why I did so well with it. I do think particularly boutique gyms or classes, gyms that have classes, they have a better ability to regulate their clients, right? In terms of what they're touching, what they're disinfecting. And I think that's the big issue. The big issue is in a gym where you have an open platform where people are just working out on their own, it's much more complex. So, maybe in phase 2, what we do is open the boutique gyms, plus in the large gyms, open them for classes and personal training, where that you can keep those protocols in place. And then the free open gym, we wait for phase 3 on the free open part, because that is a lot more difficult to police and to control.
Last question. Thank you both mayors for that. And the last question for both of you, you can answer these simultaneously. But the first one is, both Broward County and Miami received large amount of federal COVID relief dollars. What are your plans for those dollars? And the last question that you all can answer, because we're dealing with time, is what message would you like to give to the residents that are watching as we prepare to open? So money that has come in from the federal government, and the message that you would like to give to residents as South Florida opens back up today.
So we've got a couple of different sets of funds that came in. And one set we're actually using to help people who pay their rent and keep them in homes and provide for some folks who might be homeless. There's another portion that has come in that's targeted to the airport. As you know, the airport is run by the county, and less than 5% is what we're having in terms of passenger load, which means that economic engine has been devastated. So we're actually using that to supplement the operations there and to give some relief to some of the businesses that are operating there that would otherwise be out of business if not. And then there's another set that we are now formulating how we utilize that to help rebuild the community, economically and otherwise.
Thank you, Mayor.
For us, as Mayor Holness said, we have a similar program. We did 3 programs. One was a micro grant for businesses with 5 employees or less. We had a small business forgivable loan, and we did a rent assistance program for about 1,300 of our residents. The whole entire package was about $3 million that we put out there to help people bridge from today until the reopening. We're waiting on the Stimulus 1 funds. We just got a clarification from the federal government. We're going to be able to use some of that for firefighter and police salaries, which would be phenomenal. We don't know exactly how much is going to filter down to us, because we may miss that 500,000 population threshold. We're talking to the federal government about getting a direct funding as opposed to having to go through another government. And that's something that we're hoping for. My message to the residents is there's two paths. I've said this from day one in my last message, there's two paths. There's the path of responsibility and there's the path of irresponsibility. The path of responsibility takes us to phase 2. The path of irresponsibility brings us right back to where we started. And I think that would be devastating. I think Mayor Holness is completely correct in saying that people are desperate. They're desperate to get back to work. They want to, they understand that complete normalcy as we know it before is something that we have right now, but they want to start getting back to being able to provide for their families. And so that's something that is incredibly important to all of us. I know we don't want to be closed one day longer than what we have to. We don't want to have to reverse any of the things that we've done. So we're hopeful that people are responsible and we're able to continue advancing forward.
Mayor Suarez,
my final thought would be, we're all in this together. No matter what your background, it's affecting all of us in some way or the other. So we must work together across every line, whether it be ethnic, geographic, or otherwise, to ensure that we beat this virus. It's in our best interest that we all work together as we go forward.
And mayors, to both mayors, if individuals want to find out more information on the reopening, where should they go to find out about the rules and all what's open, what's not?
They can go to broward.org/coronavirus. Broward.org/coronavirus. We also have a coronavirus hotline on issues dealing with coronavirus, and that's 954-357-9500. 954-357-9500.
And ours, you go to miamigov.com, reopening Miami. So you Google reopening Miami, miamigov.com. And let me see what the exact website is. The exact website is www.miamigov.com, government/reopening-Miami. That's the exact website. But if you Google reopening Miami, that's the best way to get information.
Thank you so much, both mayors. And I know there's quite a few people that's watching. For those of you who are watching, first of all, you're watching Mayor Francis Suarez from the city of Miami and Mayor Dale Holness from Broward County, both good friends of mine, both who have approached this situation with such leadership and grace. And so we thank both of you. I thank both of you for your friendship and for what. And for those who are still looking for unemployment help, you can reach out to our office. We know that there are a lot of you who still looking for assistance. You can reach out to my office, 954-893-5010. That's 954-893-5010. And we will be able to help you and connect you as soon as possible. To Suarez and to Mayor Holness, thank you both. I really appreciate you all.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.
No problem. Y'all take care. Stay safe.
God bless.
God bless.